Okay, sorry. Just checking something here. Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I wanted to talk about something that I think is very, very important. Something that needs to be brought into serious attention. I've been noticing lately, since my last video that I did on the title of it was I am sick and tired of people judging me by the way I look or something like that. I'm not really quite sure of the title because I've done so many videos. Um, but it's about people judging me for the way I look and stuff like that. And I talked about incels or people that are just unattractive and they can't, get a girlfriend and stuff like that. And I made some very good points. And there was just one video that I saw in which a situation or the typical scenario of how someone was rejected a lot in high school by beautiful girls and he couldn't get dates and he never scored with women and stuff like that and stuff like that. And he said after so many years of that, through my teenage years and my 20s, he actually said, when I look back at all the things that happened being rejected by girls, by beautiful women, because I was too much of a loser or too much of a, or, and they don't even bother to get to know me, to know the type of person I really am, that I'm a real cool guy to know. And they would eventually like me enough to go out with me and stuff like that. He says, when I look back at these women, all I could say is thank you. Thank you so much for rejecting me because now I'm a much happier person. I actually found a few women as I got into my late 20s, early 30s, or whatever. Something like that he said. I'm not sure of his exact words because I read it a while ago. He said, all you did was help me save time in, you saved me from wasting my time with you because you're too shallow, you're too stuck up, whatever, this and that. And I actually came across some very decent, beautiful women who loved me and liked me for who I am. And now I'm a happy person. So he's like saying, so thank you for rejecting me because I know exactly who you are and you actually helped me to find myself. Or something like that he said, but it was deeply moving to me and I actually liked it. Now, when it comes to my situation and what I actually go through, there's been two one incident and then another incident that happened in which I actually was, you know, having a regular decent conversation with a few people, and one of them just happened to be a very attractive young lady. And even though the conversation went well, and I didn't even necessarily talk to her or try to ask her out or none of these things, there were still people that were coming up to me and saying, "Dude, you're making her feel uncomfortable. Don't talk to her anymore. Just stay away from her." What did I do? I said, "Dude, just stay away from her. All right? You just make her feel uncomfortable. You're creeping her out." Okay, but I'm just. What did I say? Something inappropriate or what? No. He says, "You just make her feel uncomfortable." Can someone just at least just fucking say exactly what it is? And I know exactly what it is, but they don't want to say it because they don't want to sound like a bigot or a person who's extremely mean, rude, or shallow or anything like that. Because if they admit to it, that means they have to admit that they're a bad person and they're too proud. They're just way too damn proud, or whatever the case may be. And then I noticed that every now and then that happens, but for some strange reason, and I mean, it's really kind of it's really kind of weird. There was even quite a few times where I actually was in a social gathering, and there was these group of people that I met. Um, it was at a picnic, and this was a while back, about a month ago or something. I'm not really quite sure. I just never really talked about it. Or I was there was this group of people that I was introduced to, and one of them was a very attractive young lady. She was about 22 or 23. I don't know what college she was going to or whatever. And what she had as friends, of course, were other girls that were just as attractive. But what I also noticed that she was surrounded by Chads, to these alpha male type of pretty boys and stuff like that. But there was also a couple of guys, even one in particular, that was like big and rough looking, and he wasn't the boyfriend, but he was just a friend of hers. And I automatically got that vibe of I'll break you in half if you fucking do something to piss me off, kind of thing, and stuff like that. And I felt this vibe from her that she doesn't like me at all. She's judging me by the way I look, and that she could easily tell, even though I never said anything that said much. I said hello to her. I just introduced myself and shook her hand. And I noticed that when she shook my hand, she like very lightly, like real, with just with the fingertips going like this. Like she didn't want to have the whole hand on my hand. Like she didn't want to like a regular firm handshake or a regular type of handshake. She was like she wanted, the less she touched me, the better, kind of thing. And it wasn't because of the COVID. It has nothing to do with the COVID thing, because she was shaking other people's hands like nothing. Even guys that were more so-called decent looking or whatever, she met them for the first time and she shook their hand normally. Normally, she just shook their hand normally like nothing. But with me, she's like very, the less I touch your hand, I'm not gonna put my whole hand like that. The better. You you creep me out, or you're this and that. Just be fucking honest. Just say that you're fat and ugly, and you strike me as a loser who doesn't get girls. But she's not gonna be that stupid enough to say that. So I automatically got that vibe from her. And then I just, was like on my phone, just, um, I was like, I was thinking to myself in my mind, well, you know what, just don't even fucking bother with this fucking stuck up bitch. So when people were talking, I was like pretending on my phone. I was just checking my messages and just like, yeah, 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 I know, you know, little things here and there, and while I was on my phone. And then the more I started to figure them out, like if something were to happen, that big guy would have gotten in my face and said, "Stay away from her. You're making her feel uncomfortable." I just know that something like that was going to happen. I just knew it. So I just took it upon myself to not even bother to even look at her, or to look at her friends, or to even talk to her fucking Chad friends that she was surrounded with. and I could just tell these people didn't exactly like me. Now, if something were to happen, and let's just say that she said, this guy's checking me out, I don't like it, and stuff like that, some kind of trouble would have happened. So I never gave them an excuse. But then after a long while, after like being on and off on my phone, and then like, yeah, sure, I'll take a plate. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just take that, whatever. And I just like made brief conversations and just ignored them. And then when it was time for me to leave, when I just basically decided to leave, I just I'm gonna head out. So I'll catch you guys later. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And again, I just wanted to test her out because I shook everybody else's hand. And I could just tell that they did it out of reluctance. And again, when I shook her hand, she did the same thing lightly. And then the guy, the guy next to me that she also met for the first time, put his hand out and she just grabbed his whole hand and shook it, and she smiled and like this, yeah, thanks for coming by and this and that, and all I could just do is just turn my head and says, this is just fucking bullshit. So I said, all right then, I'll see you later. And then I just walked away and went down a block, and I was going to take the bus home. Didn't really want to, but I was going to. But then one person decided to give me a ride, so I just took it. And then when I was in the car with them, I was like, so do you know these people well? I said, oh yeah, yeah, I know them, and stuff like that. It says, well, yeah, they seem okay, but I don't know. I just didn't get a good vibe from them. Whatever. Don't say anything to them, but I just didn't get a good vibe. And says, why do you say that? And I was looking at me and says, I don't know. They just seem like that girl seems like she's kind of like a little bit conceited or stuck up or whatever. Like she doesn't really like me. And then he's like, well, I don't know what's going on, but like he didn't, like he pretended that he didn't know what was going on, even though he did see and notice. And then I found out a couple of days later that they were talking about me, and they said that I was weird. Even even with me just ignoring them and just being brief conversation and stuff like that, and then even now and then I heard stuff about that girl that even though she's very beautiful, she has that, like, hey, I know I look good, but hey, that it is what it is, that kind of thing, or I'm too good for you, kind of like she only wants to associate with people that she considers to be in her high value group or something like that. Like she doesn't bother to see the person's inner, their inner beauty, or their personality, and how cool of a friend. You know what? I'm glad I'm glad I didn't even bother to talk to them. I'm glad I never bothered to make a fucking effort. I cannot fucking stand people like that, and then they come off as being decent people that deserves respect or some shit like that, or whatever the case may be. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I noticed that even though I never did anything to antagonize them, I could just tell that they already have that in for me because I'm in that loser group. A delta or omega type of person, and I don't want to be around people like that. Fuck that. But the point is that they're everywhere. That they're and the more someone's messaging me, the more I realize this, the more I notice that how fucking full of shit a lot of people are. Saying, "Oh, she's a nice person," or "That guy's pretty cool," and this guy and this and that. When in reality, they're the complete opposite. They're nice, yeah. They're nice to people that are in their fucking social group and their that ideal you deserve respect because you're one of us type of group. Yeah. If she sees someone who's high value or someone that deserves respect, yeah, she'll be nice to them. And it's understandable if they're mean to people that are straight up creeps or straight up weirdos that are like want to like hit on them or stuff like that. That's also understandable, especially if she's hit on a lot. You gotta look at it from her perspective. She feels uncomfortable if someone tries to. I can understand that, but if I haven't done anything to antagonize her or to make her feel uncomfortable, if she's judging me by the way I look, and she could easily sense that I'm not the type of person who gets beautiful women, that I have low self esteem, do I deserve disrespect just because of that? No. Why can't people understand that people are just so full of shit? They don't want to say exactly what they feel about somebody. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And this is Dare to Speak. And to all of you, take care.